Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Zach Newton, not nor ever Zach Brown, joined in the booth by Alex Robinson, live from Weedsport Speedway, following in the plans of Oktoberfest in the Super Dark Car Series. We are live from Weedsport in upstate New York. It is a warm, unseasonably warm day at 96 degrees in virtual Weedsport, and that may play a factor here as we get ready to get qualifying underway. I'm going to bring in Alex. Alex, how are you today?
Good. I'm disappointed again. I'm going to yell at Wesley because he told me Zach Brown, and I was really happy. I thought Brett got me a superstar. But,
Whoa now. I am certainly a superstar, and I still like my chicken fried. Ethan Toder from DeMossville, Kentucky, currently on track, making time. Qualifying is underway here at Weedsport. Got a full night of racing on hand, as we always do. It's in part of the Mimi's Makings in Motion World of Thunder Super Sunday. You just saw the DirtFan.com fixed pro late models with Ryan Underwood taking the win in that comfortably, leading every lap of that feature. Now Ethan Toder here taking time in the Grace Productions UMP Modifieds, 2 laps of qualifying for everybody this evening, and then 6 heats, 8 laps the distance in those. Top 3 will go to the A main, 40 laps the A main. We'll walk you through alphabet soup as we get a little closer. And Alex, you called the last race at Weedsport. What can the people tuning in fresh here expect?
Close racing, fun racing. Turn 1 and 2, we talked about it before. It is a deadly turn. As you can tell, guys are pushing up. Evan C. there was pushing up. We're on Nathan Davis now. Let's see if he pushes up. But turn 1 and 2, if you don't hit it right, as there he goes, he's pushing up into that wall. And if you notice, it's really flat on that wall in turn 1 and 2. Turn 3 and 4, you can hammer down all you want. Turn 1 and 2 is where the problems will be tonight.
You're absolutely right. I said before they ever put Weedsport in iRacing, when they announced that they'd scanned it, that the body count in turn 1 was going to be high, and we expect that to continue. As you see, Evan C. has knocked Ryan Underwood off of quick time. Dylan Wilson, the Kool-Aid man for D1RT, currently on track. Turn 1 is a problem. It's as sharper than turn 1 at Lernerville, which is a particularly well-known turn 1. And it's about the same banking, but it has that nice big meaty concrete wall sitting at the top of it, and then there's another concrete wall to the inside. As we see Blake Majulis, another D1RT driver, now taking time in his open wheel UMP modified this evening, and you can see sliding up the racetrack is going to probably be the preferred line, but when you have to do it with another car, it's going to get nice and tight as Majulis goes to second quick with a 13.325. 59 cars take time, should again have 6 heats, so 10 cars in all but one of those heats. As you see David Heilman here taking his time in his UMP modified for Slick Sim Sport. I believe we missed Heilman last week. Good to have him with us here at Weedsport tonight. He takes his time. We'll see where he lands on the timesheet. You can see a lot of the usual suspects occupying the top 9 there. We'll give you a full rundown of about the top 15 or 20 after qualifying here. It's hard to get through any more than that with the time between qualifying and heat races. But Heilman not paying into the top 10, may not have gotten time in. So here we go, heat number 1, getting ready to grid up. We'll go through your time trial results real quick. Alex, you want to run those down, the top 10 for us, bud?
Evan C., Blake Majulis, Ryan Underwood, Jerry Flippo, and Hagen Sorensen are your top 5. Blake Cannon, Dylan Wilson, Nick Cooper, Jacob Fields, and Trevor Fitz are your top 10 in qualifying.
Absolutely good showing from those guys. Shell and Rolls there in the top 12. Rolls having a really unfortunate DirtFan.com's pro late model features. We go to heat number 1's lineup on the pole. It is Victory Lane Racing driver number 33, Evan C. Outside of him should be a good show here. Dylan Wilson, the Kool-Aid man out of California, lines up on the outside of row number 1.
On road number 2, it is Davin Cardwell, and outside of him will be James Grace from Million Dollar Motorsports.
Nebraska's Michael Blessing will line up in position number 5. Outside of him, it's the young up-and-coming phenom. He's impressed a lot of people. Got his first World of Thunder win last week in the Pro Late Models. That is Dixon Slinger for Midwest Motorsports.
Joe Bornhorst will start 7th, and Quinn Wallace will start 8th.
Tanner Folds, the North Georgia Rocket, and the 15 machine lines up in 9th. And shotgun on the field out of the Midwest, it's number 3, Tyler Schaefer. Again, 8 laps the distance in this one. And with the front row we've got here, plus Davin Cardwell there, Tanner Folds lurking around in the back of this field. This should be a lot of fun, Alex. We should see 8 laps of great racing here on a pretty green racetrack.
And it's really surprising. Tanner Folds, I don't know if he didn't qualify or if he just had a tough break in qualifying, but he's starting far back, and I'm surprised with that. But I mean, he has 8 laps to get up there into a transfer spot, but he's got to pass a lot of heavy hitters here.
Yeah, resting a top 3 spot away from C. Wilson and a Cardwell, not going to be easy. And he's got James Grace, Dixon Slinger, a couple other guys there to contend with who may give him some problems. We're going to have to keep an eye on that as we get ready to go green here. Alex Robinson going to take us to the green flag.
As we look here, Evan C., Dylan Wilson, 2 heavy hitters here, 2 big names when it comes to modifieds and late models are going to take us here. Turn 3 and 4, exit of turn 4, and we are green. Evan C. is going to get a good jump out on Dylan Wilson, going right to the bottom there in turn 1 and 2, and it looks like just a little bump there. There's Cardwell, and the top 3 here look like they are wheeling and dealing already tonight.
Absolutely, Evan C. comfortably out in front as he slides up the racetrack in turn 4. He will lead lap number 1. Wilson going to fall in right behind him. They're both running essentially a slider line. Slinger and Grace make some contact. Slinger going to wrestle 4 spot away and start hunting down Davin Cardwell down the back straightaway. He was fast in the fixed pros. We'll see if he's got something here in the UMP modifieds as Evan C. takes off another lap.
And Evan C., Dylan Wilson, those 2 look like they practically are walking to the A main right now, as long as these 2 keep it clean. But this track is fast so far tonight, and these guys are showing you the top line there, turn 3 and 4. But they're going to the bottom in turn 1 and 2, running that slider line, like you said. Dixon Slinger in 4th, Grace in 5th, and Cardwell, well, he's sitting there in that middle of the 3rd there. But, man, he has got some company with Dixon Slinger.
Yeah, Dixon Slinger is hard on it. Tanner Fold stuck back there in 9th. We talked about him in the pre-race. Not having a good night in the UMP modifieds as we jump back to him there in the 36L entry. I believe that's a Jamie Lomax wrap. That's an interesting decision for Folds. Meanwhile, though, out in front is still Evan C. We go on board here with the number 1, or the 21 of Quinn Wallace there. I believe, no correction, that's Michael Blessing. Still out in front is Evan C. as we work lap number 6.
And Evan C. is looking pretty good there as you see Quinn Wallace, Bornhorst battling out there for that 7th and 8th spot. And those spots still matter because you could be sitting in a C or B because of it. And these guys are going to battle it out here, both running basically a slider line, just got to make sure they don't hit each other here. But then look at that, as here's Evan C. taking the white flag. Dylan Wilson, Cardwell, and Slinger are your top 4.
Yeah, it's a weird line so far at Weedsport. You run all the way at the wall down the front straightaway, dive hard into the corner in turn 1, then up the racetrack and back down the back straightaway, and then almost the top side all the way around 3 and 4. So real peculiar there for Evan C., but it's obviously fast, and Dylan Wilson followed suit to 2nd. Davin Cardwell going to bring home that 3rd transfer spot. You can see the full field there. We'll run through them here in just a second as the race is official. And that is right about now. Your winner of Victory Lane Racing's Evan C., Dylan Wilson, and Davin Cardwell will transfer. Slinger and Grace and Blessing, Wallace, Bornhorst, Folds, and Schaefer go to the alphabet soup coming up here in just a little while as we get ready to line up heat number 2, Alex.
Starting on the front row, in the 127 is Blake Majulis. Outside of him will be Nick Cooper in the 35 from New York.
John Ruggiero Jr. for D1RT starts in 3rd. Outside of him, it's Indiana's Nathan Davis in the 36.
Starting 5th will be Tyler Berry, and outside of him will be Dustin Hall.
Fresh off I believe a midget run at US 24 Speedway in Indiana, it's the little Hurricane, Mason Hannigan, going to line up 7th. Outside of him, it's the big deal, Ethan Toder for Newton Cattle Farms Racing in the 1, starting 8th.
And rounding out the field, starting 9th will be Kevin Hounds in the 40 and Dylan D. Thomas.
So 10 cars, 8 laps, top 3 transfer again as we get ready to get heat number 2 underway. And this one, again, going to be fun with Blake Majulis. Nick Cooper on the front row. I believe that John Ruggiero Jr. is right back there in 3rd. And you got Ethan Toder back in the field as well as, again, midget driver Mason Hannigan back there in 7th. Dustin Hall a little farther back as well. So, again, another heat loaded with talent here at the World of Thunder. And we're only going to take 3 guys to the A main. Everybody else going to have to fight their way in. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
And no surprise, Blake Majulis starting on the front row. And it looks like he is going, we're not green yet. I was getting too excited there. I was hoping we were going green.
You got 2 pace laps, Alex, 2 pace laps. But this one, again, we're going to have a good time in this one with Majulis, Cooper, Davis, Ruggiero, Dustin Hall up there. Again, Ethan Toder back a little bit, Mason Hannigan back a little bit. Tyler Berry has shown some signs of speed. Had a pretty good run going, I believe, earlier in the pro late models in some of the consolation races, the C and the B main. I believe he had a good run. But yeah, we are in for a treat here as Blake Majulis bunches the field up behind him, and we get ready to go green in heat number 2. And Majulis, hard on the loud pedal, is going to slide up the racetrack in front of Cooper at the flag stand, and he is moving right there around the bottom. They all run that slider line through turns 1 and 2. Everybody, I believe, through clean. It is Blake Majulis out front. He is going to lead lap 1 by a couple of car lengths off of turn 4.
And there's a few names here that I've seen today running Weedsport. I was in some servers. Nathan Davis had a few up, and he looked really good as he's sitting in that 4 spot now, trying to chase down the 3rd place there. And John, I'm going to butcher his name.
John Ruggiero Jr. for D1RT there in 3rd in that last transfer spot. Out in front, Blake Majulis walking away with this one. Nick Cooper and Ruggiero battling for 2nd there. And then Davis is about to have his hands full with Ethan Toder, who came all the way from 8th starting spot. Definitely didn't have the qualifying run he wanted to, but has passed Dustin Hall and Mason Hannigan and moved into that 5th spot. And he goes to work on Davis as they come off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Davis pulls out just a little bit, running that low line, but Toder going to dive it hard into 3 and 4. The slider line is the soup du jour as Toder has pulled it to a car length down the front straightaway.
And look at the battle as Nick Cooper is getting a run on Blake Majulis up front here. He had a run, but he looks like he's messed up there, bumped the wall, I think, out of turn 2. Got to gain some ground, hopefully. But Blake Majulis is leading this race.
Yeah, that slider line in 1 and 2 still seems to be the move. Cooper, however, kind of running just a pure high line, really flicking it in up there on the cushion and then running a slider line through 3 and 4. As you can see, the best battle on the racetrack might really be the battle for 4th, as Toder has caught Nathan Davis and is in his hip pocket. Can he get around him? No, they're both running that slider line. Somebody's going to have to deviate and find some speed somewhere else on the racetrack. We'll see what they do through 3 and 4. Davis going to slide up. Toder runs the cushion. Gets right up on him. Doesn't quite have him yet, but it's close. The white flag is out.
And man, as they were side by side there going in turn 1 and 2, Blake Majulis has looked good all throughout there. As Nick Cooper, if he would have had some more run there, he might have had a chance. But Blake Majulis is going to be your heat race number 2 winner.
Cooper runs out of real estate, as does Toder. Davis comes home 4th, Ruggiero 3rd, Cooper 2nd. Your winner again, Blake Majulis. We'll go to your full field rundown when the results are official here in just a moment. And here it is. And it is Blake Majulis, your winner by 0.3 of a second over Nick Cooper. John Ruggiero Jr. going to take home that final transfer spot. Davis and Toder head to B mains. Hall, Berry, Thomas, Hunt, and Hannigan get buried deep in the big bowl of alphabet soup coming up here in just a few moments as we get ready for heat number 3, lining up on the front straightaway now. On the pole, it is the Weed Eater out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina for Team VLR Newton Cattle Farms Racing. That's Ryan Underwood. Outside of him is D1RT driver Jacob Fields.
Starting row number 2. On the inside, it's Bobby Mattingly in the 58. On the outside of him, from Elbows Up Racing, the 05 from Pennsylvania, it is Braden Eiler.
Logan Rumsey going to start 5th in the 41 machine, and outside of him is Carolina's Matt Logan in the 19.
Ashton Briggs will start 7th. Colby Baker will start 8th.
Last row on the field, 10 cars, 8 laps the distance. Trey Schmidt in the 12 out of Texas. And outside of him, it's the 115 of Eric Tupper. Thank you. Brett Wheeler in the production truck this evening, always providing chuckles in our headsets that you guys can't hear. We've got another 8-lap heat race here to go. There you see Ryan Underwood, the winner of the DirtFan.com fixed pro late models just a few minutes ago, and now he has qualified himself 3rd and is on the pole of this heat race. Is where you want to be. He held off Jacob Fields in that race. We're going to have to see if he can do it again, Alex.
And man, I really like Jacob Fields' paint, the old school numbers and a for sale sign. It's one I haven't seen lately on iRacing, but it's really creative. As Braden Eiler didn't grid up, and that's a little disappointing because I wanted to see how the sprint car guy would do in a modified tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jacob Fields with the duct tape numbers there, you can see. So there are a couple sprint car guys in this one, we've been informed. Mason Hannigan in the last heat. This one, Trey Schmidt, starting back in 9th. He's got a long way to go to one of those 3 transfer spots, Alex, as we get ready for the green flag.
Yeah, Ryan Underwood looked really good here all night in the late model, and he's going to get a good start here, ducking to that bottom, getting a run off there, and he has got a really good run going into turn 1 and 2. Jacob Field's going to have to play some catch-up there. Mattingly, Logan, those two will battle it out probably for that third spot as we're under caution.
So full restart coming. We did not get a lap in. I believe caution laps do count. Logan Rumsey going to bring out the caution, and we go to our Ultimate Dirt TV instant replay. First one of these we've had tonight, and we're on board again watching Logan Rumsey, who brings out your caution here in this one. And he's already ping-ponging around back there, and he's hard in the wall. Oh, hearts go out to Mike McKinney. Going to have to fix that race car. Yeah, Logan Rumsey in the wall on his lid. And first caution comes out. And if that's good for anybody, it's Ryan Underwood. I believe caution laps do count in these heat races. So that's good, again, for anybody. It is Ryan Underwood. He's ticking away laps. Free money, if you will.
Man, and that's another guy, Rumsey, as Brett knows, he is famous for running midgets, runs midgets really well. And he's another guy that it would have been interesting to see him run a modified, but maybe he'll come out and run a D main or C main tonight. Hopefully, because I really want to see what he does.
Absolutely, Ryan Underwood, your leaders. We work lap number 3 under caution. I believe this will be a single file restart. So more things favoring Underwood in the lead there in that elite chassis number 46X for Team Victory Lane Racing. Again, great run earlier. I believe led every lap of the Fixed Pro Late Model Series after starting on the pole. And a good pill draw will help you out. And he gets ready to get this back to green flag. And I believe we're going green next time by, Alex. Yeah, our virtual crowd's on their feet. They're ready to go in support of the Weed Eater. Not social distancing at all, as Brett Wheeler has brought to our attention. But what can you do? So here we go. We get ready to take this back to green. It is Ryan Underwood, Jacob Fields, and Matt Logan, your top three, But Bobby Mattingly there on the outside looking in. A good restart here at Weedsport, as Chase Hardy showed us back during the World of Thunder Speed Week. Can go a long way here at Weedsport as you get down into turn 1. But you got to get off of turn 4 good. We'll see how they do. Underwood already opening up a little bit of a lead down the front straightaway.
And he goes right to that little slider line, as a lot of guys are going to slide up because that turn 1 and 2 is slick. And it's going to be interesting to see how many of them can tap the wall. But looks like Ryan Underwood has some company now on that restart, as Jacob Fields has got a decent run on him. Going to stick to the bottom there, and let's see if he can get another run here. Hopefully, I want to see a battle here and see if Underwood can hold off. But Jacob Fields might be running. Oh, he's getting that high side in there, as it looks like most of these guys are going single file throughout there around the top, as everyone's going to look like they're running the same line.
Yeah, everybody pretty much running that slider line through 1 and 2, and you can't blame them because you look at Ryan Underwood gapping Jacob Fields running it. As Fields goes almost to the bottom, he starts to close in through 3 and 4 just a little bit, but you'll see where the big difference is off of turn 2, is Underwood going to go to the bottom to block him on the white flag lap. Going to take that line away from Fields in that 46 machine, and he is comfortably out in front. He's going to go to the high side through 3 and 4. He's going to make that stick easy and walk to a heat race win over Jacob Fields. Matt Logan brings it home third, with Bobby Mattingly hot on his heels. So the Ryan Underwood Revenge Tour continues as we go to our official results, Alex.
Yes, and it's Ryan Underwood with a win there. Jacob Fields, Matthew Logan are your top 3 transferring. Mattingly, Briggs, Schmidt, Tupper, Baker, Rumsey, and Eiler will all have to go to the alphabet soup.
Absolutely, and we close in on that as we line up heat number 4 on the poles. California's Jerry Flippo. Outside of him, D1RT driver out of California, Trevor Fitz.
Starting third. And the 24 is Goon Squad's Racing own Paul Mancini. And outside of him will be Jimmy Emery in the 4.
Another Goon Squad Racing driver, it's Riley Emig lining up 5th in the 22. Outside of him in the 195, it's Slam Sim Sports driver Preston Rigsby.
Shane Yates will start 7th. Nick Baum will start outside of him in the 8th spot.
And it's Kevin Williamson in the 5 entry. He's a little sideways there on the track. He gets that sorted out. Outside of him is the 50. It's Peter Ganatis. So 8 laps, again the distance, in heat number 4 of 6. 2 more races coming up after this. should be good. Good to see Jimmy Emery back with us for D1RT, Next Level Designs. Guy who helped me get a lot of the resources that I use to make wraps and stuff together. Jim's a really good guy. It's good to see him back with us after a little bit of an absence. And Jerry Flippo, again, on the pole in this one, sporting that D1RT logo. I believe he's a fairly new addition to that team, but he has definitely earned his place, showed a lot of success of late. But he's going to have Trevor Fitz, Jim Emery, and a couple other guys up there to contend with as we get ready to get this one underway, Alex.
As it's going to be interesting. Jerry Flippo, hopefully he can knock out a good one here tonight as he started on that front row. Gets a good start here, but we remember last week had to go through the alphabet soup and had a phenomenal run in the feature. Hopefully tonight he can start up front and just stay up front as he is out to our early lead here, but Trevor Fitz is going to gain some ground.
Well, Trevor Fitz closes the gap through turn 3 and off of turn 4, but it is Flippo who leads lap 1 as they work into turn 1. You're going to see a slight difference in line as Fitz kind of running a shorter slider line, kind of capping his slide up the racetrack off in the middle, but it's still not quite as fast. Flippo starts to gap out just a little bit. Paul Mancini is taking third in the Target-sponsored machine. So we've got battle brewing here at Weedsport.
And man, another guy who I bust jokes on, he has that Target machine was Kyle Larson's paint scheme, so another guy had to get on his case earlier. I go, what, you think you're good because you have a Kyle Larson paint scheme, but apparently if you look good, you feel good, and feel good, you race good. So let's see if he can finish out here as he's running in that third spot.
Absolutely. Holding on to the final transfer spot here in heat number 4 as we work off of turn 4 for lap 4. It is Jerry Flippo out in front of Trevor Fitz and Mancini. Jim Emery's now got his hands full for Shane Yates. So if you're Paul Mancini, you're probably tickled pink about that, or maybe target red. But out in front still Jerry Flippo as he starts to pull away just a little bit from Fitz.
Yeah, Jerry Flippo has looked really good this early on here as it looks like Trevor Fitz is going to need a miracle run. Hopefully, as you see a lot of guys running this slider line as they're just following the leader here. But man, Trevor Fitz is going to have to gain some kind of ground in turn 3 and 4 because they're both running the same line in 1 and 2. But Jerry Flippo has just looked untouchable this heat race.
Yeah, Jerry Flippo is showing his belonging, his status of belonging here in these open setup races as he has walked away. And as Brett Wheeler informs us in our headsets, here comes Jim Emery. The white flag is out. Mancini scrapes the wall in turn 1 and 2 as that track starts to slick off. You've got to find grip over there, not slide too far up the racetrack. Mancini nails it that time. He's got about 2 lengths on Emery as they head into 3 and 4, but out in front it is all Jerry Flippo. You can see by about a cab ride back there to Trevor Fitz, Mancini, and Emery, your top 4. Unfortunately, Emery has to go to a B main. So another great heat race here at Weedsport. Your winner is California's Jerry Flippo in the 13. Trevor Fitz and Paul Mancini going to the big show, and then back behind them, Emery, Yates, Emig, Williamson, Rigsby, Baum, and Ganatas will go to Alphabet Soup. And we are lining up heat number 5 right now, Alex.
And starting on the pole of this one, oh, this is a good one. Barry Hagen Sorensen from Sorensen Racing will start on the pole. Outside of him, another elbows up guy. Tyler Schell will be starting second.
Mid-South Dirt Slinger driver Corey Austin in the 92 lines up on the inside of row number 2. Outside of him, it's Hunter Parsons in the 1.
Eric York will start 5th. Outside of him will be Jennifer Hans from $1 Million Motorsports.
Brett New lines up 7th in the 144. Brendan Weeks for Revolution Racing lines up in 8th in the 26th.
Starting 9 will be Preston Latimus from PA, and David Heilman will start 10th.
So David Heilman, shotgun on the field. We'll see what he can do here in this one. He's got a long way to go, and a car to his inside there is pulled up to block him. That's a new one on me. Looks like we've got it sorted out as there you see Barry Sorensen. Heilman's going to take the shortcut around to catch up with the field there. But there you see Barry Sorensen starting on the pole in this one, a former World of Thunder Series champion. And he's going to have his hands full in this one, but he is more than capable, the young man, of wheeling that modified to this heat race victory. We're going to have to keep an eye on it, Alex.
Oh, yeah. But another thing that I've been looking at when you look at this field, there is a lot of PA guys here. And it's weird because it's not sprint cars, so I can't really call them the posse because we don't have UMPs in PA. But there's a lot of PA guys here. But, you know, It's going to be interesting because I have never seen most of these guys run late modifieds.
Yeah, this is definitely uncharted territory for a lot of guys. It's modifieds at Weedsport. Again, you are watching Mimi's Makings in Motion World of Thunder Super Sunday, and this is the Grace Productions UMP Modified Series. Heat number 5 gets underway right now as Barry Sorensen brings them off of turn 4, stands on the loud pedal, gets a great start, and pulls up in front of Tyler Shell down the front straightaway.
And man, Tyler Shell here, look, World of Outlaw sprint car driver, and now he is running second, going to give Barry Sorensen we got a caution on the track.
Well, that did not take long, unfortunately. We'll have to go to our Ultimate Dirt TV Instant Replay. And if you're interested in sponsoring Ultimate Dirt TV Instant Replays, please get in touch with Brett Wheeler through the Ultimate Dirt TV Facebook page as we go on board here with Jennifer Hans, and she is in the wall down the front straightaway, pushes up the racetrack into the turn 1 wall, and then collects the number 34 machine behind her. And that is going to be probably the end of her heat race. She's going to have to work her way through alphabet soup because I guarantee you there's a lot of damage underneath that vehicle.
And yeah, as we saw it a lot, the moment you get in the wall there, as you see going for a trip right there. And that, thanks, Brett. Go in reverse for me just so I can go and circle some more.
See the caramel apple pie blizzard I had from Dairy Queen again if Brett keeps doing this with the instant replays for us. So that is Jennifer Hans rolling it over. And again, probably bringing, and he does it again just for good measure. Oh, love that, Brett Wheeler. As we again on board here with Jennifer Hans, the in-car camera, you can see she hits that wall hard and then gets collected by the number 34 vehicle behind her, and that is probably the end of her heat race. If she goes back behind the wall to get that car repaired as we get ready to get back underway, we'll be working lap 4 when they take the green flag here in just a moment, Alex.
And I'm still seeing circles thanks to Brett Wheeler. Thank God we got one more lap here, one more pace lap, so maybe my eyes can readjust after going in circles for a few times. But, Hagen Sorensen running pretty well here. Tyler Shell running second. Corey Austin, Hunter Parsons, and Eric York running out that top 5 there. And a lot of those guys have to watch out because, I think David Heilman's on this little bit of a revenge tour after that first race tonight, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can climb a few more spots in the little bit of laps that we have left.
Yeah, you might be right. Heilman probably can't be happy with the way that race ended. Unfortunately for David Heilman, caution laps in this heat race do count, and we will be on lap 5 of 8 when they cross the stripe here under the green flag as Sorensen leads another one hard on the loud pedal off of turn 4. And he gets a great run off of turn 2 and puts about 2 car lengths between himself and second place car Tyler Shell. They're running down the back straightaway, pretty much the same line. Sorensen goes to the high side. Shell follows suit off of turn 4, but it is Barry Sorensen leading as we work 3 to go.
Man, Hagen Sorensen looks pretty good here. Looks comfortable, like he's run a few laps here and has a really good setup. And he's running that top side hammered down there on the cushion. As there we're looking at David Heilman, who's up to 5th right now. Needs 2 more spots to get in the show here, and he might not get it as there's only 2 laps remaining, but he might be able to get 1 spot to start on that first 3 rows of the B main.
Absolutely. Heilman, though, has a long way to go to that 4th place car, and he's running out of real estate. Just 1/2 mile left in this heat race. It is Barry Sorensen comfortably up in front, scrapes the wall there off of 2, but it doesn't look like it hurt him too much in that Folds Graphics sponsored number 45 machine, and he is glued to the cush off the top of turn 4, and that will do it. Barry Sorensen, or Baby Barry, Hagen Sorensen will run heat number 5. Tyler Shell and Corey Austin take those last 2 transfer spots. Heilman and several others will go through here as the race goes official, going to have to work their way in through the alphabet soup. So there is Baby Barry, Hagen Sorensen for Sorensen Racing, your winner, Tyler Shell and Corey Austin to the big show. Parsons, Heilman, Weeks, New York, Latimus, and Hans will go to the alphabet soup starting in just a couple minutes. 1 heat race left to go, Alex.
Yeah, and look who's starting on the pole here. Last week's winner from Georgia, Swindell Speed Lab Zone, it's Blake Cannon. Outside of him, from Vanderpool Racing, it's Brett Rowles.
Death Dealer Motorsports driver in the 515 entry, Chris Cox will start 3rd. Outside of him, it's the Winchester Wildman from Winchester, Virginia to Chase Hardy in the 116.
Row 3 on the inside will be Jack Weaver from Mid-South Third Slingers. Outside of him, it's always his fault. No matter where he is on the track, it's Dustin Sizemore with $1 Million Motorsports.
Cody Rigsby in the 48 lines up 7, and then Hunter Butts in the black and blue deuce starts in 8th.
Steven Turbeville will round out your 9-car field here for heat number 6.
So only 9 cars in this 8-lap heat race. Top 3 still go. There you see Blake Cannon, Rolls, Cox, and Hardy, your top 4 starters in this one. But keep an eye on Hunter Butts. Was feeling confident before the race, but has a long way to go up through his heat. We'll have to see what he can do as we get ready. One more pace lap, and then we will get this last heat of the night in the modifieds. The Grace Productions UMP Modified Series, part of Mimi's Making Some Motion World Thunder Super Sunday, underway.
And yeah, Jack Weaver, Jack Weaver starting that mid-pack. I've seen him run, I think, 3 weeks now. I've watched him in different leagues. He looks really comfortable in these cars, and I think he might give a run. And then, there's Dustin Sizemore. Again, I'm always cheering for this man. Great personality. It's just most of the time he gets in an incident, it is always his fault.
Absolutely, even when it's not. That's important to know as the pace truck makes the hard right turn into the outside pit area here at Weedsport. The field bunches up on Blake Cannon, and we get ready to go. Cannon in charge of the restart, and we are off to the races, and he got a good one. He's going to head into turn 1 comfortably in the lead.
And Brett Rouse is going to go to that top side there. Didn't even try and run the slider line, just ran the top, but it looked like he had to lock up the brakes a little bit there before he hit the wall. And Blake Cannon running the bottom. You really don't see that often in turn 3 and 4, and he's running the bottom there as these guys are going to battle it out for that top spot. And Chris Cox has some company.
Yeah, Chris Cox has his handful with a hornet's nest behind him. Chief among them is Chase Hardy in the 116 on the high side. He is pounding the cush like B. Shep at Fairbury last night, and he is all over the tail end of Chris Cox, and Dustin Sizemore is right there behind him. Sizemore may try to follow Hardy to the inside of Cox down the back straightaway. Doesn't quite get the same run that Hardy does. Hardy to the inside through 3 and 4. Can he roll the bottom and take that final transfer spot away? He's got it at the line.
Sizemore looked like he got in the slick. As you see, now he's going up a little bit more. And Chase Hardy had some connection issues there, but he's back, and he's still sitting in that 3rd spot. And now it looks like Chris Cox, Dustin Sizemore are going to battle it out for this 4th spot here.
Absolutely, and if you're Chase Hardy, you love to see it. He starts to pull away as he gets to deal with Cox and Sizemore, but Cox gets clear of Sizemore out of turn 2 and is back on Hardy's tail. Hardy running that high line through 3 and 4 again, really pounding the push up there. Has some connectivity issues. Let's keep an eye on that. Out front, though, Blake Cannon starts to pull away from Brett Rouse. Hardy holding down that last transfer spot for now, Alex.
Yeah, as these guys are looking really fast tonight. Dustin Sizemore sitting in that 5th spot as you watch him pounding the cushion there, and he might have some company as Hunter Butts is on his tail there, as blinking a little bit there, some connection issues. But Dustin Sizemore looks good. Blake Cannon, though, running away with this, and he is out to a big lead as the white flag has flown.
One more time around Weedsport Speedway. Cannon slides up the racetrack to the cushion, but does not scrape the wall. Keeps it nice and clean. High through turn 3 and 4, all the way actually up there in the marbles. You can see that right rear tire cutting a new trail through the loose stuff, and it is going to be Blake Cannon getting the win. Brett Rouse and Chase Hardy going to head on to the A-Main as we get the official lineup here as all cars cross the start-finish line. And we've got 18 cars locked into your feature, and definitely some heavy hitters among them, Alex.
Oh, yeah, and there's some guys that are going to be really surprising, but right now, Blake Cannon, Brett Rouse, and Chase Hardy were your final transfers from the heat races to the A-Main. Cox, Sizemore, Butts, Weaver, Turville, and Rigsby all got to run through D, C, or B main to get their way into this A-Main event.
And without any further ado, this is your D main. On the pole, Dylan Thomas out of Texas in the 3. Outside of him is Pennsylvania's Colby Baker in the 49.
Row 2 will be Preston Rigsby from Slam Sim Sports, and outside of him, it will be Eric York in the 89.
Steven Turbeville going to line up in 5th in the 9 entry. Outside of him, it's the North Georgia Rocket, Tanner Folds in the 15.
Kevin Hounts will start 7th, and outside of him, another PA man, it's Logan Rumsey.
Revediction's Nick Baum in the 99 starts 9th. Outside of him in the 34 starting 10th, it's Preston Latimus out of Pennsylvania.
Cody Rigsby will start 11th. Outside of him will be Tyler Schaefer.
13th starting spot is the little Hurricane out of Indiana. It's Mason Hannigan. Outside of him in the 05, I believe he may have missed the grid again. It is Braden Eiler.
Starting 15th will be Peter
Ganatis.
Yeah, again. And Jennifer Hounce will round out your D main field.
Absolutely. Alex, you get all the fun names. You ever notice that?
Yes, as actually I was in a server with Steven Turbeville, and I texted him, I go, how do you pronounce your name correctly?
Yeah. It's always good to get your research done early, kids. 10 laps the distance in this one. I believe the top 4 will transfer. Brett, you can confirm that for me. That would be awesome. Okay, that's what we thought pre-race. Top 4 will transfer to tag the tail of the C main. You got 10 laps the distance. I'm not sure what the time limit is. That may come into play here. Keep an eye on that as Dylan Thomas in the 03 machine gets ready to bring the field to the green this time by, Alex.
Yeah, and now, it's a shame as there's a lot of guys that it looks like didn't make the call here. 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th have not made the call. And Kevin Hounce he's still in the field, but it looks like Dylan Thomas and Colby Baker will take us to the green flag here, and our alphabet soup is underway here at Weedsport.
Absolutely. Dylan Thomas gets a great start, and he's out in front. Rigsby and Baker side by side. Advantage Rigsby so far. Look out, Tanner Folds in that 36L. Charging through the racetrack. Oh, he makes some contact with Eric York there. Pushes up the racetrack. Holds on to it, though. Again, top 4 will transfer. Folds currently the first man on the outside looking in.
And the man that took advantage says, oh, man, we got ourselves a pile up there in turn 1 and 2 and more contact there. And are we getting a caution? Are we staying green? Up there's the caution.
Absolutely got a caution. Cars parked up there in turn 2. Tanner Folds might have got the worst of it, as Eric York out of Tennessee might have paid him some receipts. You see him tangle over there in 3 and 4. Folds gets off and clear, and then York just throws it hard to the inside. Cannot imagine he was going to make that one stick, Alex.
Yeah, it was one of those that I think he decided early he was going to throw a haymaker. Maybe not one of the smartest decisions, but man, he threw it in hard and collected 2 cars right there on the slider, and then I think more cars just got collected when these guys got sideways.
Yeah, absolutely, and you hate to see that, especially this early in a D main. Guys who have a potential to make a charge into one of those transfer spots, and they get taken out like that. And you got to wonder if Steve and Will in race control are preparing the big red trailer to handle that as we tick down. Will be lap number 5 next time by as we still work on getting the field bunched back up and lined up here. And you can see progression of time being what it is, Alex. The sun's starting to set here on Weedsport Speedway, and the lights are on. And this really feels like a cool autumn evening here in upstate New York with the dirt car modifieds. Not the ones the folks at Weedsport are probably used to. But the dirt car UMP modifieds here on track, and you can see the temperature has dropped from 96 at the start proceedings down to a cool, crisp 69. Nice.
As it might have been nice to have these people around you now as they're going to get that body heat because it might cool off some more in New York here. But Dylan Thomas, Preston Rigsby are going to battle out here as a good start from both of them. And Colby Baker, Logan Rumsey are your sitting in the 4 transfer spots right now. But Rumsey has a hornet's nest behind him in Baum and Eiler.
Yeah, Braden Eiler has made the charge up through the field. I thought he missed the grid, but I think it was somebody in front of him. But he's back there battling. As you can see, Logan Rumsey has his hands full. Nick Baum looking to the inside of him. Looks like it's going to stay with Rumsey for now. Got a great battle there. As he looks now, to the inside of Colby Baker in the Grizzly machine. He's going to pick him off. And then here comes Eiler to the inside of him. Oh. Here comes Baum to the inside of him, in the 10 machine. Sorry, the iRacing numbers don't match up with the car. It's hard to keep everybody straight, unfortunately, Alex.
Oh, man, Eiler hit right there, just hit it on the entrance of 1 and 2. That's a tough break for him there as he was 2 spots away from that transfer spot. And Logan Rumsey, Preston Rigsby, Dylan Thomas, Nick Baum are sitting in 4th with the white flag dropped. And it looks like Dylan Thomas has run away with this D main. And congratulations to the 4 of them as they will go on to the C main action tonight.
Absolutely. You saw Colby Baker jump the cushion in 4. He does it again there on that lap, trying to hold on. And unfortunately, Tanner Folds fought his way all the way back to be the last man out, or the first man out of contention tonight. And he will transfer to the trailer and have to try again during our Super Late Models. The Mimi's Making in Motion National Super Late Models coming up in just a little while. Meanwhile, we go to your D-Main official results here. They should pop up on the screen in just a second. Here they come now. And there they go. Dylan Thomas, Preston Rigsby, Logan Rumsey, and Nick Baum going to the show. Fold, Schaefer, Baker, York, Turbeville, Hans, Eiler, Rigsby, Latimus, Hannigan, Ganatas, and Hans transfer to the trailer. They'll have to pack the modifieds up, unload the supers, and try again in just a few minutes as we get ready to line up our C-Main, Alex.
Starting on the pole will be the 331 of Dustin Hall. Outside of him, from Texas, will be Trey Schmidt.
Goon Squad Racing driver Riley Emig in the 22 is going to line up in third. Outside of him, Revediction Racing driver Brendan Weeks rolls off fourth in the 26.
Starting fifth will be Hunter Butts in the 42, and outside of him, starting sixth, will be Quinn Wallace.
Tyler Berry in the 500 lines up in seventh. Eric Tupper in the 115 lines up eighth.
Starting ninth in the 5 will be Kevin Williamson. Outside of him will be Brent New in the 144.
Mid-South Dirt Slingers driver Jack Weaver lines up 11th in the 34. Outside of him is the Ohio driver Joe Bornhorst in the 38.
13th will be Dylan D. Thomas transferring from the D main, and with him will be Preston Rigsby starting 14th.
15th and 16th, last row on the field, Logan Rumsey in the 41 out of Pennsylvania, and Nick Baum in the 10 for Revediction. Shotgun on the field, 4 transfer to the B main, and we've got a 12-lap showdown here. Dustin Hall, probably pretty desperate to get in, has not had the run that he thought he would have in that GRT 331, but he's going to have his hands full. There's a lot of hungry guys behind him.
Yeah, and, you know, it cracks me up because we're green right now. Dustin Hall is looking good. And there's some young guys in here in this field. Oh, and speaking of a young guy, it looks like Riley Emig has collected there's a lot of cars contact, but I think they all kept it going there. And it looks like Dustin Hall, Trey Schmidt, Hunter Butts, and Williamson are your top 4 right now, as Logan Rumsey has climbed a few spots after starting in the back, being that last transfer from the D.
Yeah, the big mess there in turn number 1 and 2 helped a bunch of those guys from that D main shoot their way up into the field. Dylan Thomas already up to 7th. He's right there behind Hunter Butts, pushing the cushion through 3 and 4s. We've got a car over the bank and into the pit lane. I believe that's going to be the end of his night. Butts pushes up the racetrack brushes the wall, but gets a great run off of turn 2. Can he do anything with Brent New? Again, 4-wheel transfer. Currently Schmidt, Hall, New, and Williamson, your top 4, but what chaos is unfolding behind them?
Oh man, and more contact there, as there's a whole bunch of contact. There were 4 wide for a second, and I knew it wasn't going to end well, as we're still going green here. Rumsey up to 6th, Rigsby up to 3rd. And man, this looks like it is going to be an action-packed night here.
Oh, going to be guys losing their mind in the chat. Probably here in just a few minutes. Keep your eyes on the comment section, folks, it's about to heat up. Dustin Hall starts to drive away with this one, but Brent New hot on his tail in the 44, but he's got Preston Rigsby. We've got a caution finally after the amount of chaos we've seen in this C-Main. We get a caution flag working lap number 6. We go to the Ultimate Dirt TV Instant Replay, Alex.
And there were 3 wide down the front stretch, and just got loose, got in the cushion there as Eric Tupper got bad luck, and then, well, piled up some more cars while they're at it.
If you want to talk about bad luck, let's talk about Trey Schmidt. Was started, I believe, 2nd in this race, and had some contact, got freight trained by the field, and had fallen all the way back to the tail, and then is involved in this altercation because he really didn't have anywhere to go. He couldn't have seen the 115 until it was way too late as his car was being blocked by Emig there. And Schmidt collects him through 1 and 2. He also gets the 34 machine, but Schmidt worse for wear.
And man, some tough breaks, but if you look, I think there's 2 guys sitting in the top 4 right now for those transfers that were sitting in that D main, and if they hold on here, as caution laps are counting, if they hold on here, they can end up in a B main and might have a chance of running the whole alphabet soup tonight.
Absolutely, and that's the kind of racing story we love to tell you folks. Out in front is still Dustin Hall. As the laps do tick down, but keep an eye on Dylan D. Thomas. He's back there in 6th. He'll line up right on the tail of New and Rumsey, looking for one of those last transfer spots there. And this is going to get it's going to get a little darker before dawn, as they say, as we get ready to take this one back to green. Dustin Hall, your leader, and you can see all these guys trying to time that restart.
Yeah, but Dustin Hall out to a good big start there. Rumsey into 3rd there, but he's battling as they're 3 wide there for that 2nd spot. And man, this is just one of those things. All these guys want to start 1-2 spots up. Oh, Rumsey got in the slick, and it cost him a few seconds off the leader, as Dustin Hall probably is laughing right now as these guys just cost some time, and Dustin Hall has 3 laps from winning this C-Main.
Yeah, Dustin Hall loves it, but you can see Logan Rumsey there has made his way back up. He's gotten around Brent New for 2nd. New holding on to 3rd. Williamson has his hands full with Rigsby. New is around and into the wall. He is sideways. Will we get a caution flag? Not 100% sure. If we do, it'll go green, white, checker. Doesn't look like we're going to get one. Williamson up to 4th now, but here comes Thomas and Rigsby as we get ready to take the white flag lap, Alex.
Dustin Hall has looked good this whole C-Main. He is out and running right now. Will he have a chance of running it all the way to the A? We'll have to see, but he is on the rails, on the top, and it looks like Dustin Hall will win tonight's C-Main. Rumsey 2nd. Williamson and Rigsby round out your top 4.
And you hate to see that for Dylan Thomas. He's going to come home 1 spot short of a transfer. Trey Schmidt made it all the way back to 6th after going to the tail after starting in 2nd. And what a run, though, for Dustin Hall, definitely earning his spot in the B main. And there you see Dustin Hall, your winner, Logan Rumsey, 2nd, Williamson and Rigsby. Going to tag the tail of the B main here as we almost near the end of Alphabet Soup. Thomas, Schmidt, Tupper, Weaver, Baum, Emig, and all the rest transfer to the trailer. They'll have to pack up the mod, try again next week. Top 2 from the B. Here we go. Big show. This is going to be a lot of fun, Alex.
Starting on the pole for the B main will be Midwest Motorsports, Dixon Slinger. Outside of him will be Nathan Davis.
Kentucky's Bobby Mattingly in the 3M lines up in 3rd. Outside of him, St. Louis, Missouri's Jimmy Emery in the 4.
Starting 5th will be Hunter Parsons, and outside of him, starting 6th will be Chris Cox from Death Dealer Motorsport.
James Grace in the 269 from $1 Million Motorsports lines up in 7th spot. Outside of him, it's the big deal for Newton Cattle Farms Racing. Ethan Toder in the 123.
Starting 9th will be Ashton Briggs, and outside of him will be Shane Yates in the 55.
David Heilman starts in 11th in the 49. Outside of him, it's all his fault for Speed Inc. $1 Million Motorsports. It's Dustin Sizemore.
Michael Blessing will start 13th, and outside of him will be Dustin Hall.
Logan Rumsey and Kevin Williamson will make up row number 8. And shotgun on the field, it's 195 of Preston Rigsby for Slam Sim Sports. 14 laps the distance in the B main. Top 2 go to the big show here at Weedsport. Dixon Slinger and Nathan Davis have big targets painted on the back of those UMP modifieds as we get ready to go 14 laps, Alex.
Man, and 14 laps, I mean, there is a lot of heavy hitters up here. Parsons, Emery, Slinger, Toder. I mean, the list goes on. It's going to be interesting to see if any of these guys who got from the D, the C main, to see if they can get in the top 2 for tonight's A main.
Top 2 is a tall order, especially when Dixon Slinger's holding down one of those spots as he gets on the loud pedal off of turn 4. We've got the green flag. And look at the inside. It's Hunter Parsons looking to the inside of the 36 already. Jimmy Emery, and he made contact. They go around. Oh, we've got guys getting collected. Toder's up in the wall. We've got a real mess on the back straightaway here. And, man, they stayed green, and that really had to kill about 3 guys' chances there as we get a lap complete. So that lineup is frozen.
And can we take a moment? Look who is sitting in 5th right now. All the way from the back, it's Logan Rumsey sitting there, and we got ourselves a caution.
So we've got a caution. Bobby Mattingly shows as out. We'll go to the Ultimate Dirt TV instant replay. See what we can find out here as we are on board with Preston Rigsby. And Rigsby just beating and banging. He gets into Sizemore. He's facing the wrong way, and that'll bring out a caution every time, Alex.
Well, you see, Sizemore's in it, so guess whose fault it is?
Sizemore. Indubitably. No doubt. Not a doubt in my mind. Sizemore had everything to do with that. As we see the chaos unfold there on the back straightaway. And again, if you're Ethan Toder or Davis, anybody that started up front, got all messed up and all that, you really hate it because you went from the front of the field to the middle of the field, even all the way to the tail here as this caution comes out.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting here as we got ourselves a dog fight, and it looks like, David Heilman. I forgot all about him in this B main because it's not often that you see David Heilman in a B main, but he's sitting in fourth right now.
It's top 7? Oh, he's up 7 position. Sorry about that, folks. It's hard to understand Brett sometimes because he's very Australian, if you didn't know. Heilman is up 7 positions. Rumsey in 6th, up 9 positions from their spots at the end of the longest line here to start this race. And as caution laps tick away here, Dixon Slinger and Hunter Parsons probably tickled pink as you see the spot increase. The biggest loser, Nathan Davis, back 12 spots in this one. We get ready to go green here. Should be this time by. You see the field bunch up just a little bit as we look at David Heilman. It is Dixon Slinger out in front. He's going to bring the field to green with Hunter Parsons hot on his heels off of turn 4. We'll see if Parsons can get a good restart. Not as good as the first one, but he's going to be right in his hip pocket as Grace is going to collect Parsons through turn 1 and 2. Parsons loses a spot. He loses 2 spots. Heilman now up to second around Grace as we see Dixon Slinger start to pull away here just a little bit. All right, we've got Heilman in second place. We've got Rumsey right there behind him. Rumsey trying to work his way all the way up through the full bowl here of alphabet soup. He started in the D. He's up to third. He's 1 spot out. Currently, though, he's got to get around David Heilman, who is not an easy pickings. It is Dixon Slinger out in front as we work past halfway. We're working lap 8 of 14 in this one. We've stayed mostly green so far, just the one caution as Rumsey looks to the inside of Heilman. He's definitely got the speed to pass him, but Heilman holds him up there through 3 and 4. We'll have to see how long Rumsey's content to deal with that, and smart money is on not very long. Rumsey makes a little mistake, gets in too deep into turn 1 and 2. That opens the door for St. Louis's Jimmy Emery for D1RT behind him. D1RT driver Jim Emery looks to the high side. He's got the momentum off of 4. Does he have the spot? It's going to be close. He does not. Rumsey holding on. Dixon Slinger walks away with this one as we work lap 10. Heilman still holding on to that last transfer spot in second, and he's got Rumsey hot on his tail as we look at Emery here, who is not quite out of that battle just yet. Heilman goes to the high side. Rumsey lurks the low. Advantage Heilman off of 4. 4 to go in this one. Heilman, though, breaks traction. Straight lines 1 and 2. We'll have to see if Rumsey can capitalize. He's going to pull almost side by side with Heilman. Heilman brushes the wall. Is this the opening Rumsey needs? It might be. Comes off a turn 4. Rumsey's got the spot at the line. Can he hold on to it, though? That becomes the question. Heilman has that preferred line through 1 and 2. Rumsey to the bottom. They're side by side. Rumsey pulls ahead down the back straightaway as he finds traction to the low side of this curved back straightaway here at Weedsport. Rumsey holding down the bottom and making it stick. Not quite. They're dead even at the line with 2 to go. 2 to go in this one. Rumsey makes a mistake, so does Heilman. They're side by side down the back straightaway. What a battle for the last transfer spot. Can Rumsey run the table here and go the full bowl of alphabet soup? He's to the inside of Heilman. He's got second under the white flag. 1 more time to go. Dixon Slinger going to run away and hide with this one, but the battle on the racetrack, the only one we care about right now, the only one you should care about at home is this one between Heilman and Rumsey as they trade second down the back straightaway. Heilman jumps the cushion and torpedoes the wall. He knew it was done. It's Logan Rumsey running the table. He goes all the way from the D main to the back of the A. He'll start dead last, but good on him for getting there. All right, so here you go. Your B main results are this. Dixon Slinger and Logan Rumsey to the big show. Emery, Briggs, Sizemore, Cox, Rigsby, Yates, Williamson, Hall, Heilman, Toter, Parsons, Grace, Davis, Blessing, and Bobby Mattingly transferred to the trailer. That'll do it for their night. You hate to see it for some of those guys, but there's nothing you can do about it. As we are jumping warm-up, the track is very good. All these drivers are very excited as we line the feature up from back to front. Shotgun on the field. It's Logan Rumsey from the D main outside of Dixon Slinger starting in 19th in the 51. It's the Winchester Wildman Chase Hardy lining up 18th in the 116 for Newton Cattle Farms Racing. To his inside in 17th, it's Corey Austin for the Mid-South Dirt Slingers. Paul Mancini for Goon Squad Racing in the 24 entry lines up in 16th. Matt Logan starts 15th on the inside of row number 8 out of Carolina in the 19. Carolina driver for D1RT John Ruggiero Jr. starts on the outside of row number 7 in the 44. Davin Cardwell in the 70 will line up to his inside in 13th. Vanderpool Racing driver Brett Rowles in the 17 will start on the outside of row number 6. Inside of him, it's Pennsylvania driver Tyler Schell starting 11th. Trevor Fitz out of California in the TFR D1RT number 28 will start in 10th. D1RT driver out of Indiana Jacob Fields in that 007 duct tape entry will start 9th. Outside of row number 4, it is Nick Cooper in the 35. And to his inside, it's the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah! Dylan Wilson in the 80. Blake Cannon for Swindell Speed Labs in the 44 will line up 6th out of Georgia. As we get into your heat race winners, inside of him, it's Baby Barry Hagen Sorensen in the Folds Graphics 45 for Sorensen Racing. Jerry Flippo in the 13 out of California for D1RT lines up 4th. Inside of him, out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina in the 46X, it's Team VLR Newton Cattle Farms Racing driver Ryan Underwood, the Weed Eater, starting 3rd. And your front row, God, could it be anybody else? 2nd on the grid, Blake Majulis for D1RT in the 127. And inside of him, it's Victory Lane Racing driver Evan C. in the 33. As we get ready to go 40 laps, Alex is back after that, and that's good because I'm tired.
I am putting my pick, and I am picking my old reliable that I picked last week, and he won it in a drag race. I am going with Blake Cannon to go back-to-back in UMP racing tonight.
He takes Blake Cannon to go back-to-back. I'm taking your 3rd starter, my little buddy Ryan Underwood in the 46X. Looked like he could have won. Brett takes Majulis in what might be the safest pick. But that leaves Evan C. unselected, which is a wild thing to think about as we get ready to go 40 laps.
And Evan C. out to an early lead here. Majulis, though, trying to budge his nose under him there, as a lot of these guys are going to the inside, as we got C, Majulis, Underwood and Flippo there battling it out there for that 3rd spot right now. One's going to the top, the other's going to the bottom. This is going to be an interesting battle here tonight.
Underwood had the worst 2 turn 4s at Weedsport I think he's ever had, but he's fast through 1 and 2. He is going to get clear of Jerry Flippo and start to track down the top 2. These 2 titans running 1st and 2nd. It is Blake Majulis and Evan C. Underwood gets to the high side. I think that's where he's more comfortable as he goes inside. Going to run the slider line. No, he's going to stay glued to the bottom and get in Blake Majulis' back pocket there as Majulis looks to the inside of Evan C. down the back straightaway into 3. Who's got the lead at the line? They're running 2 very different lines. Give this lap to Blake. No, Evan C. The leaderboard tells us is at the top, and Ryan Underwood's right there with Jerry Flippo and Blake Cannon charging hard.
Blake Cannon there you saw going to the outside there of Jerry Flippo, and Ryan Underwood going to take the slider line there, ran up top there as it's 3 cars on the outside, and it looks like Majulis was the only one on the inside in turn 3 and 4, and we got ourselves a 3-car battle here for the lead with C, Majulis, and Underwood. But C and Majulis have been battling it out here for the first 5 laps of this race, and it is going to be an interesting night as we are going side by side there. Cannon with Flippo and Underwood going to the outside. Let's see if he can get a run here and get past Ryan Underwood.
Jerry Flippo to the inside of Cannon. Cannon to the high side. Underwood going to slide up the racetrack in front of Cannon and take the line away. Cannon tries the veteran move. Can't quite make it stick. He and Flippo make contact. Underwood going to hold on to 3rd. Underwood's got to find some speed in a hurry. He's starting to lose touch with Evan C. and Blake Majulis. Death, taxes, and those 2 battling for 1st and 2nd on a Sunday night. Is there anything more certain as Blake Cannon gets into Underwood and the wall, and he is going to continue to hold down 3rd is Underwood as we take laps away.
And look who's knocking on the door there. It's Baby Barry Hagen Sorensen sitting there at 6th, knocking on the door of these for a top 5 finish here. Running that high side with everyone almost, as it looks like Flippo was stuck there on the bottom. But he looked good last week on the bottom, and he's going to stick there as Blake Cannon ducks down, runs the bottom in turn 1 and 2, and he's going to try and get past as we throws a slider. Oh, ducks under there as we are going to go drag race here, and it looks like Blake Cannon had him at the line there for that 3rd spot.
Blake Cannon just barely holding on to 3rd. They're side by side and door to door down the front straightaway. They're side by side and door to door down the back straightaway. Give a slight advantage to Underwood as he rolls the bottom through 3 and 4, as does Blake Majulis up there in 2nd. Evan C. starting to pull away, but Blake Cannon has now taken 3rd from Underwood.
And sitting here, Evan C. has looked good this whole race. Majulis was the only one giving him a fight so far. As we look there, C's running the bottom. Blake Cannon running on the top there in 3 and 4, and now you got the two young guns and Ryan Underwood and Hagen Sorensen coming up there running the top. As look at Hagen going there, giving Ryan a run for his money there in that 4th spot.
You got to wonder if Underwood's setup is a little more geared towards late in the race. He's looked a little slower than he has earlier as he slides up and nearly catches the nose of Barry Sorensen there. Sorensen all squirrely down the front straightaway in the slick, and he jumps the cushion and hard into the wall in turn 1 and 2, and you hate to see that. He's going to lose a couple positions to fall back to 9th, Alex. Meanwhile, though, Blake Cannon has caught Blake Majulis. Ryan Underwood still there on the door. But cue probably some happy music in the headphones of Evan C. as he starts to drive away from 2nd and 3rd as they go to battle.
And man, you look here, Blake Majulis, Blake Cannon running for that battle. Jerry Flippo trying to give Ryan Underwood a battle for his money here. And look who's coming. It's the Kool-Aid man. It's Dylan Wilson sitting there in the 6th spot there, running right behind Flippo. And there is some heavy hitters coming down the line here. Hagen Sorensen dropped all the way back to 9th, but don't count him out yet, as there is a lot of racing left as we are going halfway right now.
We cross the halfway stripe, cross flags from Barney the iRacing flagman, and look at Dylan Wilson running the high side here at Weedsport. Definitely a little out of character for him, not something you usually see. Flippo's holding his own, rolling the bottom there all the way around the racetrack. But Wilson's got the momentum off of turn 4, and I believe he's going to have the spot, not quite at the line, but they're very close as they head down the front straightaway into 1 and 2. Flippo had it that time by, but Wilson's coming for it. Flippo just a nose ahead as they get into 3.
And man, if you look at this top 5, any of these top 5, say there's one caution. I don't want to see it, but say there's one caution. These guys might be battling it out for that win. Evan C. hasn't had much competition with going green flag the whole way so far. He's running the bottom. Everyone else is going top side. And man, he is just walking away, but he is coming into some lap traffic here.
Evan C. has closed in on Paul Mancini, who is running 20th. He's the first car to go a lap down in this one, Alex. C slides up the racetrack off of turn 4. He's going to lead another lap. Look at the high side hustler there. It's Blake Cannon. He's trying to track down Blake Majulis. Can't quite do it just yet. Majulis very good in the slick. Ryan Underwood pulls to the inside of Cannon, and look out, we've got a battle for 3rd brewing here. It's VLR versus Swindell Speed Labs down the back straightaway. Underwood right in Cannon's back pocket as they work off of turn 4, bolt on the high side, trying to reel in Majulis running in the basement.
And yeah, now you look at a lot of guys as we're 10 to go right now, and you look, a lot of guys still going to that bottom in turn 1 and 2, going to the top in 3 and 4, and Blake Cannon is coming up on Blake Majulis.
Blake Majulis, an unforced error. He collects Dylan Wilson. You don't see that very often. That's our first caution. Majulis is going to have to go to the rear. He might be done for the night, depending on how much damage that car has. It's going to be tough to get back in and get back up there. As he just collects that inside wall, Alex. And again, a totally unforced error there. We go on board here. Thank God for Brett Wheeler and these onboard cameras. As you can see, that concrete wall just has a lip there. And there's a little berm that forms around it, and he just collects it. And it's a lot less forgiving than a Uke tire is. And that is all she wrote for Blake Majulis. And that is going to send him to a 20th place finish this evening, unless he can somehow get that car repaired.
And it's a shame. I think he tried to force it a little too lower than he had to there, and it's like you said, it was uncharacteristic. I'm really surprised. One of those bad mistakes by a really talented driver, and it's a shame too because he was catching him with C running into some lap traffic there, but it's a bad break from Blake Majulis.
Absolutely, and the thing of it is, Alex, when you run that bottom, you're looking lower and lower every lap for moisture as the bottom starts to slick off as we line up a double file restart. And boy, this is about to get spicy. 6 to go. It's C, Cannon, Underwood, and Dylan Wilson now with Jerry Flippo and Nick Cooper back there. Baby Barry has charged back to 7th as we get ready to go green. I believe it'll be next time by. And Dixon Slinger up 9 spots. He's in the top 10 from 19th. We'll have to keep an eye on him, see how far up the field he can climb. But it's going to be tough to take our eyes off this top 4 as we get ready. 5 to go now with the pace truck lights out. We're going green this time by, Alex. This is going to get spicy.
And I blame Brett Wheeler. Brett picked Blake, and Blake makes a mistake, and he puts the curse on him.
Oh man, I got Alex and Brett going at it in my ear, arguing about Brett jinxing Blake Majulis as Evan C. off to the races. Underwood looks to the inside of Cannon, can't quite make it stick, but they're side by side. Cannon gets into the inside wall. Underwood is up to second if he can hold on to it. I don't know if he can or not. Cannon gets it righted and gets back moving. Underwood is in third, and I don't think we're quite done seeing fireworks as those two battle for second yet.
And look at that. That little mistake there jammed up the field. Evan C. is off to the races with 4 to go. It looks like Blake Cannon, Underwood are going to need to make a run and make it quick if they try and battle out for Evan C. here.
And Logan Rumsey, who started shotgun on the field, is up 14 spots to 6th. And he is all over Jerry Flippo as Underwood makes a mistake, and Jacob Fields is going to get underneath him. Fields moving into third. Can he hold on to the spot here? 3 to go. Underwood to the high side. He's got a great run off of turn 4. We're going to see if he can make it stick on Fields. No, give it to Fields at the line, Alex.
And man, Evan C. looks dominant as this battle here, Underwood, Flippo, they're all battling it out here for that third and final podium spot. Rumsey up in 6th. Blake Cannon just wheeling that as the white flag has dropped, and it looks like Evan C. This race has been all Evan C. tonight. Had a few laps battling with Majulis, and Evan C. has walked the dog tonight at Weedsport. And for the second straight week, we have a different winner as Evan C. will take home the win at Weedsport.
Absolutely, Evan C. your winner. It is Blake Cannon. Ryan Underwood drops to 6th on the last lap. It's Jacob Fields in third, Flippo, Rumsey, and then Underwood, Fitz, Shell, Cooper, Wilson, your top 10. As we get ready, we're going to go to Victory Lane interviews here. We're going to take a quick commercial break after we go through your official results here. Again, Evan C., your winner by almost a second over Blake Cannon. Jacob Fields, Jerry Flippo, Logan Rumsey, your top 5, Alex.
Ryan Underwood, Trevor Fitz, Tyler Shell, Nick Cooper, and Dylan Wilson are your top 10.
Dixon Slinger, Brett Rolls, Devin Cardwell, Hagen Sorensen, and Matthew Logan take us to 15th, Alex.
John Reguero Jr., Corey Austin, Chase Hardy, Paul Mancini, and Blake Majulis round out your field.
Absolutely. So we'll be right back with Victory Lane interviews after this quick commercial break. Stick around. You want to hear from Evan C. and the rest of your podium finishers here in just a minute. All right, we are back here in Victory Lane, dragging in Evan C., your winner. You got me, Evan?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Evan, you were as close to untouchable as anybody I've ever seen tonight, bud. Walk us through what that 30 laps was like.
Oh, yeah, man. I knew it was going to be a pretty tough race. All those guys are fast, but, I felt like we had a pretty good setup. If we can just get out front and, not make any mistakes there, I felt pretty good that, we could bring it home. And, only had one yellow there and got a pretty good lead on that restart. We was just able to stay clean from there.
Absolutely, and I don't know if you caught it in your rearview mirror. Majulis clipped that inside retaining wall in 4 and went for a ride. That's what brought out that caution. And you had to be, I don't know that you cheer for another guy to fail, but certainly your night gets easier when one of the best in the world isn't breathing down your neck.
Yeah, certainly. I knew he was going to be fast, and he was right on me there, neck and neck before he made that mistake. But, overall, it's still a good race. I felt like I had a ton of seconds here lately, so it definitely feels good to finally get a win here.
Absolutely. Any sponsors you want to thank tonight?
Yes. Got to thank all the guys at Team VLR, Jeff Brown and Iris Flag, sponsoring me, so go check him out. Jim Emery Net Soul Designs for the paints. Kevin Dedman, his band Dirty Grass Soul, Captain Ben Morgan, and everybody else that helps out. And just thank y'all for doing the broadcast, and Steven for putting on this series.
Absolutely. Evan C., your winner in the Grace Productions UMP Modifieds here at Weedsport. And we go now to Alex Robinson, who has caught up with second place finisher Blake Cannon.
Blake Cannon, second place, first last week, second this week. Looked pretty good there. A few tough breaks at restart, a tough break, but second place, not too shabby. Really good race throughout, though.
Yeah, man, I tell you, if we didn't have teammates out here doing their dirty work, probably would have been in victory lane. But that's just typical. I don't know. I'm just playing. No, I got into Ryan early in the race, and I guess it was on his mind. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's just a shame that I felt like I was like 2/10 faster than Evan there at the end. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's racing. We'll move on to the next one.
And you saw, like we were watching with Julius there running the bottom. Everyone else was running the top side. How, like, with this track only coming out like a month ago, you only have, that few weeks to practice, get some work in. What's the track like? Like, give it for the people listening that don't run this track often. What's your game plan when this track gets slick?
Well, I mean, personally, I ran the bottom in the heat race, and, I really wanted to run the bottom in the feature, but I made some last-minute adjustments on the setup, and the car was just way too rigid. I wasn't really comfortable in the race, but, I felt like the harder I drove, the faster it was. So, when it's like that, you gotta run the top. So, I really felt like I was the first one to run the top and make it work, and then all them guys kind of followed. So, I would have liked to have been on the bottom, but, just the way the setups, the way I set it up, it just didn't fall that way.
Any teammates, sponsors you like to thank for getting you on the podium again this week?
Yeah, I just gotta thank everybody on Swindle Speed Lab for all they do, and Slick Sim Sport. The merge has been great, and I've loved it. Gotta thank Design 75 down on the graphics. Gotta thank Dustin Hall as well for all he does. Bell Helmets, K1 Race Gear. Gotta thank Steve and everybody at World of Thunder. They do a hell of a job, and everybody in the broadcast booth.
There's your second place finisher, Blake Cannon.
I don't believe we have our third place finisher, Jacob Fields, here in the booth. That's going to do it for us. For the Grace Productions UMP Modifieds, again, Evan C., your winner comfortably in this one. Brett and I will be back in just a couple of minutes for the Mimi's Makings in Motion National Super Late Model Series as we get ready to get the party started in earnest. Your main event for the evening coming up next. We'll see you soon.